In this video, I'm going to share 15 secrets that truly wealthy use to remain invisible, the quiet power moves that let them control the money game while the rest of the world is distracted, chasing likes on social media, flashing rented lifestyles, and calling it success. Now, when I say invisible, I'm not talking about hiding away in some cabin on top of a mountain. I'm talking about a level of financial stealth where you could be standing right next to someone worth hundreds of millions and never suspect it. Picture this: a man in a plain $10 t-shirt, eating a $5 turkey sandwich, driving a 15-year-old Toyota with a few scratches on the bumper. You glance at him and think, definitely not rich. But here's the twist. That same man quietly owns 4 apartment complexes, has $8 million in tax-free investments, and could walk into a dealership tomorrow and buy your dream car in cash. But he won't, because he understands something most people don't. Meanwhile, Chad, wearing a shiny Gucci tracksuit, posting videos in a rented Lamborghini, is trying to work out a payment plan for his AirPods. That's the real game. The ultra-wealthy don't stay low-key because they're shy or humble. They do it because invisibility is one of their greatest weapons. It keeps them safer, freer, and in control. And today I'm going to walk you through exactly how they pull it off. Are you interested in this topic? If so, comment below with the phrase, "I will be the first trillionaire in my family." Once I see your comment, I'll give it a heart. If you'd like to support the channel, leave a like and subscribe. It takes less than a second and helps the channel a lot. We have plenty of inspiring content coming your way, packed with tips to help you live a more successful and fulfilling life. 15. They buy privacy like it's prime real estate. For the ultra-rich, privacy isn't something they hope for. It's something they invest in. It's a deliberate line item in their budget, right next to tax planning and investment strategy. We're talking gated estates, tucked behind layers of security, unlisted phone numbers, homes owned by trusts instead of their personal names, even contracts with private security firms who operate quietly in the background. When most people come into money, they celebrate big parties, flashy announcements, new cars. When the ultra-rich come into money, they disappear. Many register their homes under LLCs or blind trusts, so their personal name never appears in public records. Take the biggest names you've heard of, the tech giants, the hedge fund moguls. You won't find their names on most of their properties. You'll see company names like Evergreen Estates LLC or Stone Ridge Holdings on the deeds instead. It's intentional. Why? Because they're not obsessed with people knowing they live in a $30 million estate. They're obsessed with making sure no one, not the media, not opportunistic lawyers, not even overly curious neighbors, can pinpoint where they sleep at night. Their mindset is simple. If people know where I live, they know where to find me. And if they know where to find me, they know where to sue me. It's not about hiding from the world. It's about making themselves a harder target to hit. Drop this in the comments. Privacy is my greatest asset. Because the moment you start treating your privacy like prime real estate, you protect your peace, your safety, and your future. Comment it now, and I'll like, heart, or reply to show you I'm with you on this. 14. Their name is never on the paper. Here's a question that completely changes how you think about ownership. If you own nothing, can anyone take anything from you? That's a philosophy the wealthy live by. The ultra-rich rarely keep assets under their own name. Instead, they tuck them away inside a web of shell corporations, family trusts, and offshore entities. On paper, they can look nearly broke. In reality, they control more than most people will ever touch in their lifetime. That $100 million yacht, registered to a company in the Cayman Islands, the priceless painting hanging in their penthouse, owned by a Delaware trust, the $40 million Manhattan apartment, technically belongs to something like Green Rock Holdings LLC, which might be owned by another company, which is owned by another, and so on. It's a layered shield, not just for secrecy, but for asset protection. It protects them from lawsuits, prevents stalkers from tracing them, and even adds a buffer against economic instability. One billionaire once summed it up perfectly. Own nothing, control everything. So the irony is, you could be sitting next to someone worth a fortune, and their official paperwork would tell you they have nothing. 13. They fly under the radar, literally. Some of the richest people in the world take commercial flights. No private jets, no gold-plated seats, no look-at-me moments, just a boarding pass like everyone else. Why? Because private jets leave a trail. When you're worth billions, attention can be expensive, not just financially, but in terms of safety and peace of mind. Private flights can be tracked, and with that comes risk. Lawsuits, blackmail attempts, kidnapping threats, or even unwanted attention from tax authorities. Warren Buffett, worth over $100 billion, still drives himself to McDonald's in a modest car and flies commercial when it's practical. Not because he can't afford better, but because he doesn't need the show. He'd rather own the airline than brag about sitting in seat 1A. The wealthy know this truth. The moment you start showing off, you attract the wrong kind of attention. You become a magnet for scammers, freeloaders, gossip-hungry media, and the most dangerous predator of all, the government. But here's the thing. When they do spend, they spend big, just not in the ways you'd expect. Comment this below. Attention is expensive. Every time you write it, you remind yourself that peace and safety are worth more than showing off, and I'll like, heart, or reply to your comment to back you up. 12. They buy invisible assets that don't shine. If you think the rich are out here collecting diamond-covered watches and handbags with gold-plated logos the size of a billboard, you're watching the wrong crowd. That's the costume jewelry of wealth. Loud, flashy, and usually for people more interested in being seen than in actually being secure. The truly wealthy? They're buying assets so boring that you'd fall asleep just hearing about them. And yet, those boring assets quietly turn into generational treasure. They're snapping up 50-unit apartment buildings in quiet neighborhoods no one brags about. They're putting millions into index funds you'll never hear hyped on social media. They're acquiring farmland miles from the nearest city, or storage facilities that never make headlines, but pump out rental income every single month like clockwork. These aren't sexy purchases. No one is pulling out their phone to film a storage unit and say, "Look at my new flex." But here's the magic. These assets keep paying them, rain or shine, month after month, year after year. Their money is multiplying while the rest of the world is busy posing for likes. They live by a simple rule: if it sparkles and grabs attention, it's probably draining your wallet. If it's dull, overlooked, and quietly running in the background, it's probably printing money. And that's why the richest people you'll ever meet have mastered a strange art most will never understand: looking broke while quietly building empires. 11. They dress like they work for the people they actually own. Imagine this. You're in line at your favorite coffee shop. A guy walks in wearing faded sweatpants, sneakers with worn soles, and a plain black t-shirt. You barely glance his way. What you don't know, he's a multi-millionaire venture capitalist funding companies you've seen on the news. That average guy look, completely intentional. The ultra-wealthy understand something most people never even consider. The way you're treated changes the moment people think you have money. Suddenly, everyone's asking for just a small favor. Lawyers are sniffing around for lawsuits, and opportunists are looking for ways to get a slice of what's yours. Blending in isn't laziness, it's a survival tactic. Standing out makes you a target. It's expensive, exhausting, and distracting. That's why people like Mark Zuckerberg have been known to wear the same style of plain shirt every day. Not because they can't afford a closet full of designer fashion, but because they have more important things to focus on than impressing strangers. Wealth whispers, ego screams, and the smartest players in the game know that sometimes the most powerful move is to look like you're not even playing. And if you think that's clever, wait until you see what they do when it comes to raising their kids, because stealth wealth parenting takes the game to another level entirely. Comment this below. Wealth whispers, ego screams. Every time you write it, you remind yourself that real power doesn't need to show off. And I'll like, heart, or reply to your comment to back you up. 10. They raise their kids like they're broke. Here's one that catches a lot of people off guard. Some of the wealthiest parents in the world make their kids believe they're just an average middle-class family. The trust fund? Never mentioned. The vacation home? Oh, that's just a rental for the summer. The family investment company? That's just dad's weird little job. Why would they do that? Because they know the moment a child grows up believing they're rich, the hunger to work, to prove themselves, to push through challenges, often fades away. Warren Buffett once put it perfectly: give your kids enough to do anything, but not enough to do nothing. So they raise their children like scrappy underdogs. Regular schools, summer jobs flipping burgers or stocking shelves, weekly chores. They make sure their kids learn the value of a dollar before they ever inherit one. Many even go as far as setting up what's called a silent trust. The child doesn't even know they're wealthy until they hit a certain age, often 30 or beyond. By then they've built grit, work ethic, and humility, the kind of qualities money alone can't buy. Their philosophy is simple: earn it like you're broke, receive it like a ninja. And speaking of ninja moves, the next one is all about hiding money right in front of everyone's eyes and doing it completely legally. 9. They hide money in plain sight. The ultra-wealthy aren't walking around with stacks of cash in vaults or hiding gold bars in underground bunkers. No, their hiding places are far smarter, and they're right in the open. They wrap their fortunes inside layers of legal and financial structures that make it nearly impossible for the casual eye to detect. Want to protect wealth from estate taxes? They set up generation-skipping trusts so the money moves through generations without a massive tax bite. Want to lower taxable income? They use pass-through entities like circ corporations. Want to keep rolling real estate profits without paying capital gains? They pull off a 1031 exchange, swapping properties without ever triggering a tax bill. This isn't tax evasion, it's tax strategy. These tools are like fortresses, built and maintained by armies of lawyers and accountants whose only mission is to protect and preserve wealth. Here's the difference: you could build a $10 million business and hand over 40% to taxes, or you could structure that same $10 million through the right entities and keep nearly all of it. Same money, different outcome, and all 100% legal. And that brings us to one of their most powerful plays of all: how they use their money without actually spending it. Comment this below: I protect my wealth in plain sight. Every time you type it, you're training your mind to think like the ultra-wealthy, and I'll like, heart, or reply to celebrate that mindset with you. 8. They live on loans, not income. This one flips the way most people think about money completely upside down. The ultra-rich don't live off salaries. They don't just sell assets when they want cash. Instead, they borrow against what they own. Here's the move. Let's say you've got $10 million worth of stocks or real estate. If you sell, you owe taxes, maybe millions in capital gains. But if you walk into a private bank and say, "I'd like a $3 million loan using my portfolio as collateral," they'll hand it to you with a smile, often at interest rates far lower than what the average person pays for a car loan. And that borrowed money, it's not taxable. This is the buy, borrow, die strategy. They buy appreciating assets. They borrow against them instead of selling. And when they eventually pass away, their heirs inherit those assets at a new higher value, erasing the original tax bill entirely. It's so effective that many billionaires legally pay less in taxes than people earning a middle-class paycheck. They're not working for money anymore. They're using money as both a shield and a weapon. And when they finally decide it's time for a big purchase, forget flashy credit cards. The play they make next is even smarter. 7. They use ghost credit cards. Picture this: you stroll into a high-end boutique, the kind with soft lighting, polished marble floors, and staff who greet you by name. You select a few luxury watches, maybe a tailored suit or two. At the counter, you pull out a sleek, unmarked metal card. No name on the front, no visible number, no magnetic strip. Just a solid, weighty piece of metal that says, without saying anything, "I don't wait in line." You swipe it, walk out with $50,000 worth of purchases. No ID check, no awkward second glance. That's the world of the ultra-wealthy who carry what are often called ghost cards. These aren't your everyday platinum cards from a commercial bank. We're talking about JP Morgan Reserve cards, or even more elusive private white label banking cards that exist so far under the radar that most people will go their entire lives never knowing they exist. Comment this below. Privacy is my power. Typing it helps you lock in the mindset that real wealth is about control and discretion, and I'll like heart or reply to celebrate that power with you. No spending limit the store could ever hit. Transactions that don't show up on typical credit reports. Concierge services that can get you into a fully booked restaurant on a Saturday night, or secure you a seat on a private jet that's wheels up in 2 hours. They can even get you early access to investment opportunities before the public has a clue they exist. And here's the part that might surprise you. They don't use them to show off. You won't see them walking out with bags piled high for the sake of Instagram. Because for them, the real advantage isn't flexing what they can buy. It's the control, the privacy, and the ability to keep everyone guessing, which takes us straight into the next truth. 6. They play the long game. If they wanted to, they could live like characters straight out of a blockbuster film. Yachts with helipads, a private island with a golf course, maybe even a home built inside a mountain. But here's what they know. Status games are for people who still need validation. Wealth games, those are for people who already know they've won. You won't catch them tossing stacks of cash in a nightclub for social media likes. You'll find them at a private dinner with a handful of other power players, discussing a deal that could quietly reshape an industry. No cameras, no audience, no press release. Their biggest flex is knowing their assets are compounding while they sleep. Their wealth is shielded from sudden storms, and they can walk into any room without needing to be the loudest voice. They've learned that the loudest person in the room often has the least to show for it, and when they do score a win, you might not hear about it until years later, if at all. By that time, they've already moved on to the next play. 5. They give themselves fake job titles. Ask one of these stealth millionaires what they do, and you'll rarely get the full truth. They'll say, "I work in consulting," or just a little real estate. But what they really mean might be, "I run a private equity firm that quietly bought 4 companies this year," or "I manage a portfolio of income-generating assets worth over $200 million. This isn't false modesty, it's protection. The second the world knows how wealthy you are, the dynamics shift. You start getting approached by acquaintances with business ideas. Old friends come asking for just a small loan. Opportunists line up with lawsuits that don't even make sense, so they keep it vague, downplay, blend in. That person who says they're in operations consulting while stepping out of a chauffeur-driven SUV, chances are they control more wealth than they'll ever admit. And when they travel, they take that same discretion to an even higher level. Even governments have a hard time tracking them. Comment this below. Silence protects my success. Typing it locks in the habit of keeping your wins private, and I'll like heart or reply to back you up for protecting what's yours. 4. They hold multiple passports and international residencies. This is where things start sounding like a spy novel. Multiple citizenships, legal residencies in different countries, passports from places you may have never even thought about visiting. Why? Because no single government can fully control someone who legally belongs to several. They might have an American passport for access to most of the world, a Caribbean passport for favorable tax laws, and a European residency permit that gives them mobility across dozens of countries. These aren't random choices. They're carefully chosen chess moves. If tax policies change in one place, they can simply move their official base. If instability brews, they already have an exit strategy. They often secure these through citizenship by investment programs, where buying real estate or investing in the local economy grants them the right to live and work there. The average person moves because they have to. The ultra-wealthy move because it serves their long-term plan. And while they're shifting between countries, they're also making moves in the shadows that most people never even notice. If you've been enjoying the content so far, please click the like button. And if you're new here, please subscribe to the channel and help us reach 1 million subscribers. We're on our way there. Can I count on your help? If you already subscribed, comment "I subscribed." Just go ahead and comment "I subscribed." Thank you for doing that. Now that you've commented, let's continue. 3. They use ghost companies to buy influence. Here's where power gets quieter and much more dangerous. The ultra-wealthy don't always buy assets in their own names. They use ghost companies, shell entities, trusts, and holding companies that keep their fingerprints off the deal. They might purchase a prime block of real estate through a non-profit, own a media outlet through a trust that's impossible to trace, or funnel large political donations through an LLC that doesn't even sound like a business, something like Harborview Strategies. Why go through all that trouble? Simple. It's not about being recognized as the owner. It's about control without exposure. When a policy shifts, a market suddenly spikes, or a trend explodes seemingly out of nowhere, there's often an invisible hand guiding it. And that hand belongs to someone who will never appear in the headlines, but who will quietly collect the rewards. Comment this below: control without exposure. Typing it locks in the mindset of moving with power quietly. And I'll like, heart, or reply to show you're thinking like the ultra-wealthy. 2. They operate in circles of obscurity. This is almost unsettling when you realize how deliberate it is. The ultra-wealthy don't just protect their money, they protect themselves by surrounding their lives with layers of insulation. First layer, assistants and personal managers, then lawyers, accountants and security. Even family members might have to go through an intermediary to make certain requests. If you tried to reach them directly, you'd probably speak to an assistant's assistant before you even got close. Want to sue them? You'll be dealing with a holding company, not their personal name. Want to meet them? You'll be talking to a representative who takes careful notes but reveals nothing. This isn't paranoia, it's a system. You can't target what you can't reach, and you can't reach what you can't even find. They've built a life where their time, attention and movements are protected from unnecessary noise, so they can keep making moves while the rest of the world has no idea they were ever in the room. 1. They redefine what rich really means. Most people have a movie scene picture of wealth burned into their minds. They think it's the roaring engine of a bright red supercar, a 10-bedroom mansion perched on a cliff, a gold watch flashing so bright it could blind you in the sun. Maybe a private jet with champagne always flowing, or a yacht packed with strangers trying to look like lifelong friends for drone footage. But here's the truth. That's not wealth. That's theater. It's a costume stitched together from insecurity and monthly payments. And if you peel it back, you'll often find someone who's exhausted, stressed, and one unexpected bill away from it all collapsing. Those toys aren't assets. They're anchors. They bleed money. They demand constant maintenance. And the moment you stop feeding that image, the whole illusion falls apart. The ultra-wealthy see things differently. To them, true wealth is invisible. It's waking up when your body decides, not when an alarm clock demands. It's the deep peace of knowing your children, your grandchildren, and even the great-grandchildren you'll never meet will be taken care of, no matter what tomorrow brings. It's bills paid without a second thought. It's making decisions from a place of choice, never panic. They've quietly stepped out of the race everyone else is running. They don't need to prove anything at the dinner table. They're not chasing approval from strangers online, and they don't rent happiness for the weekend just to post about it. You won't see them splashed across magazine covers or popping up in viral videos. More often you wouldn't notice them at all. Maybe they're the person in the corner of the cafe, wearing scuffed sneakers, drinking the same coffee they've always loved, while quietly owning half the street outside. Because stealth wealth isn't about hiding. It's about winning in a way that doesn't leave footprints. While the masses are chasing likes, they're buying influence. While others are stretching themselves thin to look important, they're building legacies strong enough to outlast them by centuries. The truth is, the ultra-rich aren't even playing the same game as everyone else. They've designed their own, with their own rules, their own scoreboard, and they have no interest in the spotlight. While the world is screaming for attention, they're quietly securing control. While others are drowning in debt to impress, they're living so free that applause isn't even part of the equation. If you want real wealth, start by thinking like them, move quietly, act with precision, and guard your money as fiercely as you work to earn it. Don't just chase success, step away from the noise completely. And most importantly, make moves so smart and so deliberate that the only person who needs to know about them is you. If this video has added value to your life and you're excited to make the most of it, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please share your feedback in the comments below. And don't forget to include the phrase, "I watched the video till the very end, so give me a heart." When I see your comment, I'll make sure to give you a heart. To continue your journey to success, there are 3 important steps you need to take. 1. Like this video. 2. Subscribe to this channel. 3. Turn on the notification bell. By doing this, you'll ensure you never miss out on the life-transformative information we share each week, for free. Don't miss our future videos, where we'll be sharing even more golden nuggets of knowledge. All I ask for is your subscription, and I sincerely appreciate it. Creating quality content for you is our passion, and your support keeps us going strong. If you've enjoyed our content and would like to contribute, consider buying us a coffee. Simply go to the description of this video and click on the Buy Me a Coffee link to make a donation. Your contribution helps us produce more videos, explore new topics, and enhance the overall experience for you. Also, you can become a member of the Real Money Team today and unlock exclusive benefits. Choose from Real Money Team 1, Real Money Team 2, or Real Money Team 3 to gain special perks, behind-the-scenes access, and more. Your support helps us continue creating inspiring and motivational content. Click the link in the video description below to join now and be part of our journey to excellence and financial success. If you enjoyed this video, it's because you understand the importance of improving your financial situation. But you might be wondering, how do you actually achieve financial success and build generational wealth? That's where I can help. I'll guide you through the steps to financial success. For detailed insights, click on the video linked here. Tell us in the comments how this channel has impacted you. We'd love to hear your story. Thank you for tuning in. You are the real money makers. Be sure to watch our other videos displayed on your screen now. We love you.